I'm curious, like, if you're like the host.
Yeah.
This sounds good right now.
This sounds great.
All right. So if you're like the host, do you have your mic like a little louder than the?
So
You have to. You have to.
No, mine's turned down.
You had the guest louder than you?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't have that, dude.
But
You can't. No, you got to have a little louder than your guest. That way, if like you're in an argument with the guy,
I can win. I should be trying to assert more dominance on this podcast.
You should. This is your show.
I haven't been thinking about that at all.
This is your show.
Yeah, this is. We don't really have a name for it yet. I've been calling it the Green Room Podcast. Santi's been calling it something else, but
okay.
Yeah, so we've just been sitting down, talking about comedy. One thing that I'd like to talk about to start off with is New Year's resolutions. We're both young men.
Yeah.
It's the start of a new year. Are there goals that you have for yourself, just in your life, and goals that you have for comedy?
Man, New Year's resolutions. That's right. That's right. We just start any time. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, New Year's resolutions. I mean, wake up earlier.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wake up earlier, dude. I woke up at 9:30 today.
That's pretty good.
And I was like, nice.
I would love to wake
better.
up later.
Wake up later?
Yeah. Well, because I work at a coffee shop, so I'm just up early every day. Like, I had to be up at 6:30 today.
Well, but that's for work, though. Like,
yeah.
So you're up early for work. See, that's the thing. I'm not working right now.
Oh, yeah?
So I'm just like...
Because you just finished school, right?
Yeah, I finished school. It's just like, it's nice, but now everyone's like, while you're in school, it's great because they're like, hey, what are you doing? Like, oh, I'm in school. Like, oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Now I tell people, like, yeah, I just graduated my bachelor's. Like, oh, so what are you doing now? Like, they know I'm just a bum now.
Yeah, now you're just a comic.
Yeah, now I'm just a comic. I'm a bum. Like, yeah, I do comedy. Like, yeah, well, but what else are you? What are you actually doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it's nothing actually.
Yeah.
I have no plan because I was a psychology major.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I'll figure it out. You know, I'm studying something I like. I'll just figure it out later. Now I actually have the degree. I'm like, okay, I did not figure it out.
You don't know what you want to do with it.
Well, I mean, I have options. Like, I can go get my master's, I get a counseling degree, and that's like, it's like 50,000 hours of like unpaid internship.
Shit.
And I'm like, that is not great. I mean, if I wasn't doing comedy, I would bear through it. But it's like, I'm trying to be out at night, doing stuff, and I had to do this unpaid. Like, I'm doing enough unpaid work already.
Yeah.
With comedy, it's like if I'm doing also the internship. Thing to be a counselor, that would be a nightmare. So it's like now I'm just like, well, I could be a substitute teacher.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I could do that
with your degree. But like, what you want is to be a comic, just to be a working comic.
Yeah,
right?
basically, yeah.
So it's like, what is the point of going and pursuing like a master's degree?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get like a day job to where I can do comedy.
Yeah,
like just something that pays the bills.
Yeah.
If I need to move to New York, LA, I can pay the bills.
Yeah.
And because that's not easy. So it's like, I'll do psychology. Now that'd be good. I mean, I know some comics are like, dude, you don't need a day job. You just move to New York.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to Matthew, Matthew Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
He's a city comic. He's like, dude, just, you have a car? You have a car? I'm like, you have a car. He's like, sell your car, you can move to New York. I'm like, yeah, for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, barely. I don't believe that.
And then you have to get like a job out there to pay rent.
I don't get, like, there are stories of people who have done that successfully, but like, I don't get how you could do that, because I feel like the first several months of me living there would just be survival. Like, there's no way that I could be getting better at comedy.
Yeah.
Because I would like literally just be trying to survive the entire time.
I know. Like, I know guys, like, they're going to be living on, I was talking to Matt about this because he's moving to New York.
Oh, yeah?
Funny comic. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm going to be living in a boat. I found rent $200 a month to live on a boat. It's like, that's not maintained. Is, just like a little boat.
Just lives on a boat?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, he still has to pay like $300 a month to live on a boat, dude.
Yeah, and also you can't do that all year, right? You can't live on a boat in New York in the winter.
Yeah, and a hurricane, like, what happens if a hurricane comes? He's like, it's going to suck. I'm like, yeah, it's going to really suck.
Yeah, you die. Immediately the first to die. You're immediately the first person to die. You're how we figure out that there is a hurricane, because you die in the boat.
Yeah, you're the first guy in the death toll.
I kind of wish I could do shit like that, though. Like, people who just leave and live in a van for like a year and travel.
Yeah, but how you gonna eat? I mean, those are like vegans who don't eat anything anyway.
Dude,
They're like,
yeah.
I just live in the forest.
Yeah,
I'm just
and then
gonna
you
do
murder
that.
your girlfriend and chop her up into pieces.
Yeah, you're just a murderer. Like, I mean, if you're a murderer, it's great.
Yeah.
I thought about that. I fantasized like, dude, I just want to live in the woods
Yes.
and start a band.
Start a band in the woods.
Start a band. Like I saw
Who do you
this.
start a band with in the woods?
Just like an indie band. Just find a couple of my bros. Like, dude, let's start an indie band.
You guys all go to the woods.
We all go to the woods. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be a band. Or you could do a Mac DeMarco little thing. You could just be out your acoustic guitar,
Yeah.
just in the woods. Just
Do you think
echoing.
you would be creative that way though, if you were just like in the woods by yourself?
I don't know. I'm also not a musician, so
Yeah.
it's already a stretch. But I don't know. I think I would be. I think just like the birds would just kind of motivate me,
Yeah.
and the trees. I just write songs about nature, man, and just chilling out, and then until a bear comes through, and then the
And
guitar
mauls
is not going
you.
to help me as much.
Yeah, and you wish you had moved to a boat off the coast.
Yeah, like, dude, I would love to be in that boat right now. I don't know, but no, I mean, got a degree. It's a nice thing to tell people, like family barbecue.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm getting my degree. And like, oh, it's so great that you're doing that. Like, no one's ever going to question you.
Yeah.
If you're at school, they're never going to, say anything. So I had that, which was nice for a while.
Yeah.
Because I just do school. School is very easy. You just do school.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks it's hard.
It was hard for me. I couldn't do it. I hated doing it.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't do any of it. I think growing up, I had like a really terrible school system, and I just didn't really have to do anything. So I had like an A and B average, and I just didn't do any work. And I tested high, and then I was fine. So I just didn't. Our homework was barely graded. I never did homework. I barely did my work in class.
This was high school or college?
This was high school.
Okay.
So then I go to college, and then like I've never done homework in my life. I've never legitimately studied in my entire life. And I'm like, well, I don't know how to do any of this. And also, I don't really care about anything that I'm doing.
Okay. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school in Romeoville.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I went to U of I for a semester.
That's like a good school.
It was a good school. I really just like never found a place there. But they have like a small stand-up scene in Champaign. So you can mic like 3 nights a week. So that's what I just started doing. Because I was kind of in this frat, but kind of not really. And I really didn't make any friends outside of that, and I just hated everything that was around. I just never found my niche, but I found these open mics.
Okay.
So then I just started doing that, and then after a couple months, I was like, I'm just gonna leave school and go do open mics.
I think it's good you left Champaign, especially doing comedy. But dude, I have friends who went there.
Yeah.
I visited there multiple times.
Yeah.
And dude, Champaign or at University of Illinois, it's just a fantasy land.
Yeah.
It's not real life.
Yeah.
It's just
I feel like most colleges like that.
degeneracy. Yeah, I mean, go to Aurora University. You're not finding a beer bottle, nothing. There's just a bunch of losers who couldn't get into a bigger. I mean, honestly, it's a good school. It's a good school, but I mean, it's a lot of losers who don't want to go to a bigger school and don't want to socialize, and so there's no parties. And I would say, oh, wow, Aurora, you guys are disciplined. It's like, well, dude, I mean, we're all dorks. And it's not like we're smart.
Yeah.
It's not like we're not going to parties because we're studying.
Yeah.
It's like, but U of I is an actual party school. Like, you were in it. You were in the actual thing. It's a lot of alcoholics. It's day drinking. Dude, the kids would get up at 8 a.m. and drink, like, those blue vodka things.
Yeah, blue guys.
Yeah, blue guys. You
Yeah.
call them blue guys and orange guys.
Uh-huh.
And you'd go to the bar. What time do bars open in Champaign?
I don't remember because, so in Champaign, you can get into bars when you're 19, but I was never 19 there.
Dude, which is illegal.
Which is wild.
It's insane.
Yeah. And it's just like the college campus. Or maybe it is the entire area of Champaign, but it's like just there. Nowhere else in Illinois can you do that.
That's what I'm saying. It's a fantasy land.
Yeah.
That's not the law.
Yeah.
You can't drink when you're 19. You can in Champaign because it's not the real world.
Yeah.
And so these kids are just going, let's go to Lion. Let's go to Red Lion. They get hammered and they go back to their apartment when it's all fun and games and they can go to Potbelly and use their parents' credit card. It's a fantasy world and I felt uncomfortable being there.
Yeah, dude, some people can live their entire lives in a fantasy world. And then they figure out that they're
Yes.
going to die and life gets sad really, really quick
but
and
that's
angry and
the-
unfair.
that's the
But
thing.
like some people literally, they just live their entire lives in spaces like that. And spaces like that always make me feel uncomfortable because like my life is fucking great, but it's not like a fantasy land. Like I live in the world, I feel like.
Well, yeah, you work.
Yeah.
You're working. I'm
Right.
still trying to do that. Like
Yeah.
you're more. I'm still kind of in fantasy land a little bit. At least I'm not like I'm not U of I. That's Pleasure Island.
Yeah.
That's where Pinocchio went, and he had to escape. They had like the donkeys. Like
It was
that's
Pleasure Island in Pinocchio? I don't remember this.
it's a story of Pinocchio. It's Pleasure Island,
Yeah.
and he gets sent there. And the more you engage in like impulsive pleasure, you start to turn into a donkey. That's the story of Pinocchio, and that's U of I. That's University of Illinois. University of Illinois is Pleasure Island. It's too good.
Yeah.
You go in there, and it's just great.
Yeah, literally all I did was drink and smoke weed the entire time I was there.
Because you can do that.
Yeah.
You can just do that. And you can go to classes. Like, you don't really, unless you have a super early class. But, dude, that school was just a fantasy land.
Yeah.
And so I think it's good you left that. You were there for what, half a year?
I was there for one semester, and you know what? It really wasn't like, it wasn't fully the fantasy land for me because I'd gotten involved in rushing this frat, this like really like just low level frat. Like there is like, U of I has like really big Greek life where you have like fraternities and sororities that look like they do in movies where they're like these giant palaces where people like live and they party and they live in a fantasy land. But I got invited to this party my first day on campus. I went and I like just hung out with these guys, told stories and like jokes and stuff, and like we got along. So they told me to come over the next night, and I didn't know anybody else yet. So I went over and I hung out there, and I didn't really like their party. So I left and I went to take a walk. And while I was on my walk, I had a beer in my hand. So I got caught by a cop. So I got an
There's
underage
cops
drinking
there?
ticket. Yes. The first week of college, there's cops everywhere just giving people drinking tickets. And maybe that's how they fund the city of Champaign.
Yeah. After 1 week, and then they're gone. I didn't see any cops.
Yeah.
That I would have
Literally, it's just that first week.
I would have liked to have seen some cops, to be honest with you. That place needed some cops.
Yeah.
Needed some regulation. So for 1 week, you were rushing a frat.
So right, so I leave this party, I'm holding a beer, and I get caught by a cop, and I get an underage drinking ticket. It was $400. And I
Oh,
was
wow.
like, fuck, I literally don't know what to do.
Oh, wow.
So, but then the guys at that frat, they said that they would pay for my ticket
Oh.
if I rushed their frat.
Oh, see, I got excited because that's good. You had a real man moment, a development. And then your friend says, dude, we'll bail you out.
Yeah, we'll bail you out, but you have to rush our frat. Yeah.
That's so disappointing. They
But
bailed it, but what did you have to do to rush
They
them?
ended up not even fucking paying it. They paid like half of it.
Oh.
And I also had to pay dues to this frat. So I lost money the entire time
They
that I
stabbed
was
you in the
there.
back.
Yeah, it's a fucked up. I don't
You're-
like college, and I don't like fraternities in any way. I
There you
think they're
go.
all evil demon places.
There you go. Dude, you're quote-unquote brothers, too. We're a brotherhood.
Yeah, dude, and
This
I
is the
had
brotherhood.
brothers, so I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know who you are, fucking Dylan. We are not brothers, dude.
We're family here.
I kind of fucking hate you. I just happened to go to the same house that you go to get free beer. We are not brothers.
Yeah.
And they have you do all these little like
I know.
like little bonding shit and like hazing
Yeah.
events to like bring you closer, like because everybody is a pussy, right? And they want to have like the camaraderie of like war buddies or like gang members to have like an actual like community, a true fraternity of men.
Yeah.
But you can't. Everybody is literally just like some bitch from Naperville who has 2 different credit cards from his parents. Or even it's not even a money thing. It's just like you're not family.
Yeah, it's like we're going to make you get into a cage and we're going to throw in the pool for 30 seconds. But we're a family here at Delta Chi or whatever it is.
Yeah. Because if you all get molested by the same kids 2 years older than you, then you'll be bonded for life.
We're still a family.
Dude, that's the thing too, is like you get there and like they're trying to haze you in the frat, but it's like, I'm like, dude, you're 19. Like you can't, what are you doing telling me what to do? Like you literally are just some punk ass kid. I tripped acid for the first time 10 days before I left for college.
Oh, before you left, okay.
So my whole like mindset on like institutions and structures in general was like very hazy. I'm like, what's it all about, man? What are we doing? Like everything's bullshit. Okay. Which is part of the reason why I didn't like college and part of the reason why I didn't like this frat, but also like on the same point, like it's just dumb.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice social group, you know? You have guys you can hang out with. But at a certain point, dude, that's like, you gotta be independent. Like, you're gonna leave the frat. You're gonna go out on your own. You're gonna be living on a boat in New York.
Yeah.
And things are gonna get tough.
You're not gonna have your brothers.
Yeah, you're not gonna have your brothers who stab you in the back for $400 to help you out anymore.
Literally, dude.
You're gonna have to go out on your own. Like, I don't know. I just never saw the appeal of frats. I used to think like all frat guys were like cool, you know, football players.
No, it's
like,
not true.
Like I saw them. Like I walked into this frat and they're nice guys. But I walked in, I'm like, dude, you guys are like kind of nerd. Like, there's a lot of nerds walking around.
Yes. Well, it's a lot of guys, it's their second chance to be cool. So it's like you weren't cool in high school. You weren't cool at all growing up. And now you go to this frat and you're like, okay, I'll buy a chain off Amazon and I'll buy a basketball jersey and I'll try to grow a beard and that'll be my whole personality. And then I can pretend that I'm a cool guy.
They'll put like a poster of like a model of like, I went to this one frat house. It had like a poster of Alexis Wren.
Nice. Like
naked, and they're all good. Like, yeah, we're guys.
Yeah, we're dudes.
I'm like, there's no women here. The only women here are pictures of women.
Yeah, you're living in a shithole too. Everything is sticky. Everything is fucking sticky in a frat house. It's so gross. And I had friends who did it and like loved it. Like they made friends and it was cool.
I'm making fun of my friends right now. Like they were frat guys, and I get it. It's fun.
It is so dumb though.
Yeah.
It's you know, and it's like it's hard to say that it's dumber than this.
Yeah, that's true.
But like it is, like at least we're doing something. Like we're all like creating something.
Yeah. But we're not like a brotherhood of comics though. Like we are all independent people. We might be partners and do, you know, whatever together, but it's like, dude, living in a big group and like having meetings, dude. Like, oh, we're Delta Chi's having a meeting. We're going to have dinner with the alumni. I'm like, they're coming back?
Dude, it's so dumb.
Dude, they would come back. These kids would be like graduated. They'd be like grown men with jobs.
Literally like the age that we are now.
Yeah, they would come back to the school.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to have dinner with the Delta Chi, the Chi members and talk with some of the new, like, what?
Inspire these young men.
Like, dude, that's a 26-year-old visiting. That's not inspiring to me.
Yeah, you're a fucking loser.
Seeing older guys come back to the school.
Yeah.
Like, dude, these are our brothers. They showed us the ways. They showed us the ways of just pounding 10 beers before 8 a.m.
But they all buy into it. They think it is so cool.
They think it's
cool.
And
those guys, like a guy comes back who's graduated like a year or two ago, and he comes back, he's like, oh, this guy's the fucking man.
Yeah, I know. It's just,
and he's not the man.
Just the biggest degenerate.
Yeah.
I used to think those guys were the guys. So, like, when I was 19, I thought the same thing, too.
When you were in college?
Yeah, I mean, like, when I first got to U of I, I'm like, dude, this is pretty sweet. These guys live... But then I started realizing this is a fantasy land.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing about those guys. When those guys graduate, the guys who are the man in college, those are the guys who are showing up to meetings by the time they're 26 in AA, like, my name's Mike.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky,
if you're lucky, you get some help.
Yeah, if you're not dead, dude.
Yeah, it's almost worse than being cool in high school. They're both have attacks because it's like it's a downhill either way.
College could be dangerous. High school I don't think high school is as dangerous as being like a guy in college. Because high school, it's like, yeah, you do the underage drinking and all that, but it's like college, it's just right there.
Yeah.
You can be a degenerate scumbag.
That's true. In high school, at least you have to hide it from your mom.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But in college, you're living with people who all want to do the same thing.
Yeah, in high school, too, it's like, to be cool in high school is like to strive athletically. Like, the cool guys in high school were the athletes.
Yes.
College, you're just a bunch of guys who don't play sports anymore.
Yes.
And it's who can chug the Tito's bottle, whatever, the fastest.
Yes.
That's who's the man. It's very different than athletic achievement.
Yeah.
So it's like being cool in college, it's very dangerous.
Well, because that dream is dead. That's like the dream of you being an athlete. Like if you're a collegiate athlete, that's something else. Like you are working on something.
Yeah.
But like the dream of being like a fucking sports hero is over for you.
I know.
So you just put all of that energy into drink. That's what I did because I stopped.
Yeah.
I like all I wanted to do was play football. and I didn't get the offers that I wanted my senior year, so I decided to quit. I was kind of burnt out, so I didn't play in college. So that year I was like, I don't know what else to do, so I'm just gonna drink all the time.
Oh.
This is something actually. This is a good transition because I wanted to talk to you about this, like, sports versus comedy, because we both grew up like just wanting to be like a professional athlete, right? Like you wanted to be a professional basketball player. I wanted to be a professional football player. It was the only thing that I had thought about for the better part of a decade.
Yeah.
And like all I did was like work out and play football and eat. And basically, like, for you, how do you feel like do you feel like you're trying to scratch the same itch with comedy that you were with basketball?
Nah, man. Nah, it's just not the same. Like, when I was in basketball, it's like, it's just a different thing. Like, comedy, it's all about, like, expression. You have a bad day, and you get to go on stage and talk about your bad day. That's why I like it. With basketball, there's something about being, like, an alpha male guy. Like, you don't have to have a personality.
Yeah.
The whole point of me being a great basketball player and being looked at is, like, I didn't have to, like, talk. I could just kind of be dumb. Just be, like, dumb in class. Like, I don't have to pay. I just be like, but man, this all. I could just do that. And, like, dude, this kid's so cool. I was an idiot.
No.
I was so stupid. But I was, like, the man in eighth grade. I wasn't the man in high school anymore. I don't want to go through it again.
Mm-hmm.
My history, I've done that on air.
Yeah, it's been covered.
Yeah, it's been covered. I can go it again. There's a lot I could talk about, but yeah, I mean, there's a thing about being like, just being an alpha male athlete, where it's like when you're walking around, being all cool, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to crack jokes. You could just be there.
Yeah.
You just sit in a chair and say nothing, and people around you are like nervous.
Yeah.
To be around you just by you sitting there.
Yeah.
That is what sports get you at an early age. Middle school, high school. You can just be sitting in a chair and you're cool. Whereas like comedy, it's like you do have to get results. It's about expression. So like for me, it's a little different. I feel like I'm in a whole different world now.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, for like football was a little different for me because my high school just had such a terrible football team. Like I was a good football player and I cared about it a lot, and I was working really hard. But like we didn't have a good program, so nobody in the school really cared. Like I was captain of my like varsity team from sophomore year to senior year, and nobody really cared. Like I don't think anybody thought I was cool because I played football.
None of the kids at the school cared, or
yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like in like, my friends who I was hanging out with more like my junior, senior year when I was partying and stuff, like the cool kids, I feel like were kids who were involved. They were like in student leadership or like they were in student government or something.
What?
Yeah.
The cool kids were the kids who were like in PL, like we're in peer leadership.
Basically.
Those are the cool kids?
Yeah, well, our leadership club, like they planned all the
cool.
events for the school. So they like planned all like the dances and the events and stuff. And those were like those were like my friends.
Those were the cool kids?
Those were like my friends who I would get drunk with on the weekends.
The kids who were like, I joined a club here at this high school and it changed my life. Once I joined the bingo club, I met a whole new group of friends. Like those are
Yeah, well, not the bingo kids, but like the student leadership for sure.
Student leadership.
Yeah.
What? Dude, those kids were the dorks at my school.
Some of them definitely were dorks. I also, dude, I cared so much about being cool. Like I wanted to be cool so bad in high school. And eventually I think I did get like a taste of that, but I wish I had cared about something else. Like I wish I had found bingo or something.
In high school?
Yeah, I wish I had found like something else to care about because like all I cared about was football. But like on top of that, like I just wanted to be cool. I wanted to be like fucking Zac Efron in High School Musical. Like I wanted to just be like the cool athlete like, who's like the guy who everybody knows.
Yeah, I wanted to be that guy too. I wanted to just like, well, being also like having like local press. I remember like being in middle school and reading about like the high schoolers.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's gonna be me. I'm gonna be like.
You read the local papers about the high schoolers?
Yes.
Okay.
I was like, dude, I'm gonna be in the newspaper. I'm gonna be like famous. Like I remember like being in the 8th grade, like seeing like the high schoolers. I'm like, dude, that's the guy. Like I look at him like a famous guy.
Yeah.
Like when we see a famous comic, like that's how I would look at them.
I did that about the athletes, definitely. Like the guys in the football team. Yeah, I knew who were like the good players, like grades above me, maybe like 6 years above me. Even.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And you looked at them like they were like famous guys.
Yes.
Dude, I remember watching like Lonzo Ball highlights
Yeah.
when I was in like 8th grade or something. Like, dude, this guy, and I went back and watched him with the same joy. And like, dude, this kid's like 4 years younger than me. I'm still like, dude, he's so cool.
That's wild.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But that's the thing in basketball. You're kind of cool forever.
Yeah.
Like in my eyes. Although I peaked in 8th grade, I'm still cool for what I did.
Yeah.
Dropping 30 points, Wheaton Franklin Middle School, I'm still cool for that. Doesn't matter if I'm a dork now. It doesn't matter if I'm a virgin. I'm not getting laid. Because I did that in middle school, in my eyes, I'm still the man. Kinda.
Yeah.
Still the man.
I don't feel that way at
You don't
all.
feel that way? I kind of do.
I feel like such a loser because I didn't play college football. I don't feel it as much anymore, but I felt like all of it died when I stopped playing.
Really?
Yeah, and I tied my high school's career sack record my senior year. It was like I was good. I was never as good as I wanted to be though.
Okay.
And it all just like the wheels completely fell off once I was done. I don't hold on to pretty much any pride from that time.
Really? You don't like ever reflect back on your old like highlights? Like sometimes like you don't do that?
No.
Dude, sometimes
It's all kind of lost. My
Really?
senior year, I was like really, really depressed because I was grappling with the idea of like whether or not I wanted to keep playing. So I didn't cut any of my highlights that year. So I have like no footage from like the best year that I had playing football. And then I have like a couple stuff from earlier on that I could probably find. Like there's huddle highlights out there somewhere, but like
it ain't up here.
some of it.
Dude, for me,
Some of it stays. Big hits stay.
dude,
for
yeah,
sure.
there you go. Dude, for me, 8th grade, dude, it's all up here.
Yeah.
It's all up here, dude. I'm at Rotolo Middle School. I'm going to seem like a dork, but dude, it's still kind of cool, though, if you think about it. Rotolo Middle School, Batavia. I'm in warm-ups, little student section going, overrated.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude. Sometimes I just lay in bed at night and think about, like, 8th grade, and I'm, like, kind of satisfied. Like, dude, I did something already. I don't need to do much else. Like I could, you should, but like a part of me is like, I did do something already.
Yeah.
My job's kind of done.
That's so.
You don't think that way?
I don't feel that way about me personally.
No satisfaction at all. Like that's the whole point of achievement is that you get it done and it's just there forever. Your legacy, like my 8th grade legacy, lives on. Like for you in high school, there's probably still teachers and coaches that talk about you. That's cool. That's a legacy, man. That lasts a long time.
I don't know.
We had different philosophies. I mean, I don't know.
I guess I also like I never met the goals that I wanted for myself.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I was all conference, but I was never all state.
I mean, neither
wanted
did
to be
I.
All American, obviously, and I just and there's a plethora of reasons that I didn't get to where I wanted to be, but I think because of that, I never felt successful.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, neither did I, but I still like kind of like I didn't turn into what I thought I was gonna be, but I can still kind of hold on to the good old days. Like you don't have any good old days, like those were the days. Like when you're a kid, do you look back on your past fondly or
Times with friends, yeah, like fun
with
times that I
friends?
had with friends or like old girlfriends and stuff. Like I look back on those times very fondly.
Really?
But yeah, I don't have any lingering pride from sports.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different. I mean, I think there's a lot of guys like me, like the Peakton High School guy. Like, dude, my dad's like that.
Yeah.
My dad will talk about, like, remember, and he's like, he's an old man now.
Yeah.
He's like, I remember my junior year, we're playing at Addison High School. I had 14 points, and Mike Wicks was our leading scorer. I'm like, dude, this happened 40-something years ago. I mean, there's a lot of dads that are like that.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I would be, and I don't think that's a bad thing, but I think I would be ashamed to be that way.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I think maybe that's why I don't have any pride in it, because that to me kind of feels like the frat thing. It's like you're holding on to something that's not there.
That is true. Like, I mean, I don't know. 8th grade, how long ago was 8th grade now? That was 2014,
years.
2015. God, it's almost 10 years. I think I have another 8 years of still bragging about it. And then I can be like, all right, now it's a little weird that I'm still talking about it. But I think you have, like, there's still a window. Like, if you peaked in high school, I think you have a window.
Dude, I mean, I think it's so beautiful that you look at it that way. I really do, and I wish I felt the same way, but I don't. Maybe I should go back into those thoughts and see if I can find some positivity.
Watch your
in
old
there.
highlights, man. Just appreciate the past.
Yeah.
Like, because it also makes you look at the present differently too. Because like, if you think of the present as currently the past to your future self, it's like I kind of enjoy it more. Like, this is just the past still. I'm not worried about what's going to happen. This is still the past. I'm young. I got a lot of things, later. Like, so, because I don't know, I look at the past very fondly. It's called rosy retrospection. This my psych degree is really paying off now. It's called rosy retrospection, and it's basically a bias we have. We all kind of have it, where it's like when you think about when you're in first grade, you just think of like, oh, that was nice. Those are good times because it kind of worked out for you.
Yeah.
But you don't have that at all.
Yeah, you know what? I think football specifically for me, like, broke my heart. So I think it still feels like a breakup that I never got over. So it's hard to look back on it fondly.
Well, I'm the same way too a little bit. Like when I turn on basketball, I can't watch it.
This is the first year that I was able to watch football.
Really?
And like enjoy it.
Yeah, I can't enjoy basketball as much. I watch like UFC, soccer.
Yeah.
I turn on college basketball. And sometimes my dad's like, that should be you right now. I'm like, don't.
Dude, that was the hardest part. I watched Michigan just won the Rose Bowl. And that was my team growing up. That was my family's team growing up. And so it's like these are people who are a year younger than me who just they just had my dream. I got to see them have my dream on TV.
That's the worst when the athletes are now younger than you.
It's weird.
Like, dude, you know Zion Williamson is younger than me?
It's crazy.
I found out pretty early. I Googled his age. Like, this is when I was like maybe still in high school. I found out Zion Williams was younger than me. I'm thinking, dude, if my friends find out about this, I'm never going to hear the end of it. And sure enough, 2 months later, I'm at a beat up with all my buddies, and they Googled Zion. It was like, wait, Des, how old are you? I'm like, my birthday, April 7th. Like, he's older than Zion Williamson. And dude, it was over.
Yeah.
It was all over Snapchat. It was a whole thing. Once the athletes are younger than you, it hurts.
Yeah.
When I see Zion doing this, I'm like,
life's
not fair.
Now you get to start being an old man.
Yeah. I'm like, he's overrated. I hate Zion.
Overrated.
I'm like, he is kind of overrated. He can't go left. I was at my place one time. I'm like, dude, just force him left. That's all you got to do. Literally just force him left. And he can't do anything.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, oh, he's younger than you. I'm like, yeah, I don't like Zion. Tyler Hero.
Who's that?
I look at that guy because he's from around here. He's from Wisconsin. I look at that guy because he's like a lankier white guy, same hair. I'm thinking, dude, that's me. That should have been me. 6'5". My doctor told me it was going to be 6'5". I'm like, he's just living the life.
Yeah.
That I was supposed to live.
See, I feel that all the time, and I feel the, looking back fondly, the pride never. I only feel that feeling.
Only the interesting.
Kind of. And just, being mad at myself for not being better. It's like watching, a clip. Like, when you, look at a stand-up clip and all you can see is, your mistakes.
The flaws, yeah.
Yeah. We only have a couple minutes left, so I want to go back to comedy real quick and talk about, the highlights from the last year of stand-up for you. Like what you feel like, how you've grown, or what some of your favorite shows were, or some cool things that you got to do. And then going forward for this year, what's something that you're looking forward to or something that you're working on?
Man, get all businessy here. Let's see. Favorite moments in stand-up. I mean, the highlight for me, highlight was for me was the movie. Road Dogg. Amazon, Apple TV, The Road Dogg.
Go watch it.
Doug Stanhope's the star. That was a highlight for me because it's like one of my heroes.
Was that this year that you filmed that?
No, it was last year. It came out this year. Yeah. It's that's like.
So you got to see the premiere and stuff. That you had a big premiere.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool. So it was all that, and so that was probably definitely the biggest pop for me. A couple shows. I mean, anytime you do longer time, it's always a step. It's always a big step, and you're looking forward to that show. You look in the calendar. I'm headlining Comedy Cabin. I don't know when this is coming out. January 18th, probably not going to be in time. But
we might get it out in time. I don't think anybody's going to listen to this. Truly, I think is the issue.
I don't know. Maybe my friends might tune in. I don't know.
But yeah, January 18th, go see Des at the Comedy Cabin.
There you
and
go.
watch Road Dogg on Amazon or
yes,
Apple
that
TV.
will still be out. They
That'll
can do
be there.
that. But I don't know. I think for me, I'm trying to just get a longer. It's all about building time. Like you can do the gigs, you can do the corporate stuff, and let's like, money doesn't really matter right now, but you should think about it.
Yeah.
Like, I know comics who are like, dude, I'm booked 20 times. I look at their calendar. I'm thinking, all right, none of these shows pay.
Yeah.
Like, I've done these. Like, they don't pay.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's like you get stage time, but it's like we are doing this to make a living.
Yeah.
Like, that is the whole point.
Yes.
And it's
to build a career.
Corporate shows are one thing, too. Like, I'm making more money doing, like, the corporate stuff. And it's like some comics don't understand, like, how much money you can make from a corporate show. Like, I was just talking to a comic. He's like, yeah, man, this guy had me open for him at this corporate show. I made, like, a ton of money. I made, like, $50. I was like, oh. And I didn't want to say anything. I'm like, he paid you $50 for the show? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, dude, the other guy made, like, $2,000. Like, you kind of got ripped off.
Yeah, you got fucked.
So it's like, you got to keep that in mind. You should be trying to make more and then eventually try to make it like your job. So like any year where you're closer to that, I've gotten closer to that, and you get more material, go on the road more. Touring a guy named Andy Beningo, been very good to me. Check out his stuff. He's got a dry bar special. Touring with him's been great.
Yeah.
Been able to go all over the place with him. So it's like that's probably the things I've done past year that I'm kind of proud about.
What's the longest set that you did this year?
35.
Nice.
35, getting up there a little bit. I think I have like 40, 45 right now. I mean, I'm always cutting stuff out, though.
That's how I feel, too. Building time is so tough because, like, once you have something new that you like, you immediately want to rip something out of your act that you don't like as much.
Because there's stuff, like, as you're kind of progressing, there's bits where it's like, when can I kick this one out?
Yeah.
It's like it gets laughs, but when can I get to the point where I don't have to do it anymore?
Yeah.
And I can do stuff where I like and they also like.
Yeah.
If you get to that point, that's like, it's like, how much time would you say you got right now? Like,
I have 20. I have 15 that's real good, and I have 10 that's like that I love. I can do 10 minutes of stand-up that I love, that like I'm not getting bored of.
There you go.
And it's going to do really well. 15 is great, and I have like 20. I could probably push 225 at like a bar show or something, but I wouldn't say that I have 25.
Okay. Yeah. Like, how long have you been doing it? Like, not even that long, really.
Like 2 years.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great for 2 years. I mean, so what are like your goals coming up? Like,
for this year, so I wrote a list of goals last year, like a list of like, I think 8 or 9 goals, and I did all of them but one.
You're very goal-oriented, dude.
I'm trying to be.
If you're asking me goals, I'm like, dude, I don't know what my goals are. I'm just I'm just trying to survive.
Well, in the way that like we're trying to make this a career, I feel like if I don't know what I'm working towards, then I always feel like I'm fucking up, and I like never know what my next moves should be.
Oh.
So that's something that I tried to change this year. And I was able to do most of my goals. My goals for this year, coming up, are to feature 30 strong minutes.
Yeah.
I want to produce a show, and I need to get into a solid rhythm of submitting for shows, so I can just be doing more shows. I'm not doing enough shows.
Yeah. That's big. Stage time.
Yeah.
Getting more stage time. Getting in a position where you don't have to do just open mic after open mic. You're doing, even if it's just 10 minutes. Even if it pays just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you get more out of 10 minutes than you get out of 5 minutes.
You do.
So it's like you get that stage time, then you just get to work for twice as long.
That is nice.
Yeah.
But then you're gonna get to the point where like you're featuring more, and then you do like a 10-minute set, and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna Venmo you your money. Like, all right, and they Venmo it literally like $5. It's like, okay, well, I could have.
You made $8,000 on this show. We did a banquet hall in fucking Evanston.
Yeah, it's like I could have maybe tried to book something else, but like, it does get a little frustrating though. Like, but you do have to do those.
Yeah.
Like you do have to get those shows on the calendar. Where we're at right now, like you gotta get them on.
Yeah, that's my plan for this year, and then also just hitting, going at clubs I haven't done yet. Like I haven't done Zany's yet. I haven't done the Vault yet.
Okay. Good clubs, man.
Yeah. So yeah.
Dope,
Those are my goals for this year. And that is pretty much all that we have on time.
Sounds like a good way to cap it, man.
Thank you for doing the podcast.
Nice, optimistic end.
Yeah, we talked about goals, we talked about sports. We shat on frats for a little while.
Yeah, we talked about You actually have more of a futuristic lens than I do. You don't look back in the past. I apparently do. Dude, I for like 20 minutes, I was just trying to get you to say you like the good old days, and you were like, no.
I mean, I just don't look at football as that time. I look at hitting people as like the good old days. Like, I miss getting to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That was my goal, was to try to get you to say that.
Yeah.
To admit it.
I think, honestly, I liked hurting people more than I liked the game of football. I miss that more than anything. And that's kind of, like, there's different issues to that. But I think that's really what I liked ultimately, is that feeling. That kind of feels like killing. Like, well, hitting felt much better than, like, I don't know much better, but like.
Kind of an aggressive dude. Like, do I like killing? I like hitting people.